Now tonight,
Okay, so
I'm Mary Koza. I want to start by thanking Michaela, who made all the arrangements for us, especially the tech. And I'm so delighted to be here tonight with all of you. We've never had this many people attend our book club. And it is a book club that started in 2011. And we do feature artists from our own region, which aligns perfectly with the mission of this museum to support the many, many talents that live among us. But tonight we have a very special person, someone who I met when she was maybe in middle school. She came on a tour with her parents, someone I've always remembered, and someone I was just delighted to be reconnected to. And I thank our docent, Maury Clover, for making that happen. So I am going to turn everything over to Maury, who will introduce Reagan Fast to you.
Welcome, everyone. It's just so wonderful to see all these faces, some new, some old. I'm a retired special ed teacher, speech therapist, 33 years in the trenches of education. And I have worked with many children and families of neurodiverse and differently abled individuals, and we've come a long way. And to me, tonight is so exciting because it really makes me feel so happy about where our society is moving and its acceptance and its understanding of neurodiversity and differently abled people in our community. And I'm a special ed. Oh, can you? Maybe. Hang out with you long enough, you might get it. But I'm so happy.
I'm going to interrupt you for just one moment. If you'd be kind enough, if you're online, to mute yourself, that would be very helpful for all of us.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions, please unmute yourself to ask, or you can type them in the chat box. Thank you. Excuse me.
So anyway, I've studied the history of how far we've come back in the 70s with the laws that allowed children to be taught with IEPs, individual educational plans, to be taught in the language that they understood, to have aids and help and machinery and computers. We've come so far. We still have a long way to go. But tonight, my heart is full. I am celebrating how far historically we've come just in the 33 years that I was teaching. And I really love being a part of the Birchfield Penny Art Center because they are supporting neurodiverse people to create art, to learn about music. So I'm really happy to be a part of this and a volunteer at this organization. Now I run a grief center, and we are the first to offer services for neurodiverse and differently abled families. We have lots of flyers. We have a dog support group. We have an estrangement group. We have a men's Zoom group. We have a women's group. I encourage you to look at some of the flyers in the back, take some and pass them around and see if there's one that resonates with you, because we don't want people to grieve alone. Grieving is very ordinary. We all lose people and our four-legged furry family members. We all lose people we love. So don't grieve alone. Come to one of our support groups or our special art workshops. Everything is free. So with that, let me introduce the star of the show. This is Reagan Fast, who I met through one of our board members. When we started our neurodiverse program, he was talking about it. And then he said, she's written a book. So to make a long story short, I found out that Mary Koza knows Reagan, that Reagan had been here. He heard about the book. So he said, let's collaborate. So this is a wonderful collaboration. And I had a wonderful afternoon drinking coffee and eating cookies with Reagan and her parents at their beautiful home. And I learned a little bit about Reagan. There's so much more I want to know. But she is a second-year student at Arizona State. She's pursuing a degree in disability study major. They didn't have that when I was getting my degrees. And she has a biology minor. And the biology minor that she's pursuing, her mission and why she's interested in that is because she wants to help develop food that will feed the world. What a wonderful mission. It's just beautiful. She wants to have plants that make food more accessible to people in food deserts to feed people in the world. I think that's a wonderful mission. She's multi-talented, and she's written this book with the help of her mother and her very dear friend, friend is
right.
here to Megan. Would you like to say a few words? How long, Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I met Reagan when she was 6 in first grade. And at that time I was teaching and working in behavioral studies with autism. And yeah, long story short, we've known each other for 15 years. I've been a part of her life. She's been a part of mine. We've had amazing experiences together. I left teaching about 10 years ago to open my own business, but we kept in touch because she's my favorite student. I can say that now. I'm not a teacher anymore. And just fate, chance, everything brought her back into my life in January, where I got to hang out with her now. And we go out in the community. Her mom hired me. It wasn't easiest choice, right?
Oh, I was like,
I
where were
called-
you all my life?
I called and asked if I could apply for the job to work with Reagan again, and she said, you don't even have to apply.
And you start yesterday.
And so I take her out in the community, we go shopping together. She works at my store one day a week and helps me hang clothes and tag things, a lot of life skills, community skills, and reaching out and showing the world just how beautiful and capable Reagan is to be a part of the world. So I am honored to be here with you today. I am getting teary-eyed, so I'm gonna pass the mic to someone else.
Reagan, go ahead.
Are you ready?
You ready?
Okay. You gotta be really loud, okay? It's like when we practiced at the store. Be loud. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah.
You can talk like this,
Yeah.
louder, like
Yeah.
this.
Use your regular voice.
Use your regular voice. Are you having a hard time?
All right. Yes. Do you want me to start? Yeah. And then you can be loud like me.
She's a little nervous,
Yeah.
but she's got her whisper voice on, so Megan's gonna start. the
Okay,
reading.
ready? Loud like this. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Your turn. I'm
Go ahead. You want Megan to keep reading for a while?
okay. Tell me when you're ready, okay? Okay. I'm honored you're interested in my first children's book, Different Yet the Same. You want to just look at me and yes, right? Be loud. Yeah. Tonight, I want give a microphone. Loud. You can just look at me. Tonight, I want to share.
I want to share part of my autism.
Why don't you just read? And
Okay.
Megan, you can come in when you're feeling a little more comfortable, okay?
Okay. I want to share part of my autism journey and why I wrote this book. I can't speak for every person with autism or any disability. I can only share my own experience. But in that experience, I've found something that feels universal, something that speaks to all of us, whether we're disabled or not. You might notice that I'm reading from notes. I learned over many years how to type what I want to say and then read it out loud. It wasn't easy.
This is an example. When Reagan was in high school, she participated in the Viking news for the high school, and they asked her to do the Viking values message of the month. So this is a video of her and how she types things first. And then when she's not too nervous, she read it. So she was showing her school how she does her communication.
To stay.
Like okay, can keep going. No whisper, turn off the whisper and turn off. Want to try one more time?
You ready?
Because it's so quiet in here.
I know. I think because you're quiet, she's quiet.
Maybe talk for a minute. No, like you guys talk. Okay. Like, yeah, you ready? We're gonna practice. They're talking. No one. Are you ready? We're gonna say I. Loud. I. Wow, so I can hear you. See, nobody's very loud now. You're right. Do you want to take a minute? No, so.
Maybe I'll take a few.
I
How about you?
It's gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
We all need that.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
I might be stepping on a word or repeating a word. And then below is.
I get what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Large. You know what? I'll buy one
So, and then.
because I want to get one anyway. I already have, so why don't you keep this?
I've got a question for everybody. How many
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are familiar or use sign language?
Easily buy one.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, I can do it. I go.
Very basic.
I want to.
More.
Yeah. Okay.
A, B, C. Yeah.
I'm gonna read the book a lot. I think that's class. Okay.
It's Dr.
Oh. I read the dedication.
My name.
I know.
He knows her.
Explain to
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
I know. Not kidding.
Negative degree of separation, you know, it's like the second degree
Yeah,
of separation. It's like the
negative.
negative
Yeah.
degree of separation.
Plan B. That's okay, Reagan. That's okay. Go ahead.
She's very nervous, so I'm gonna read if you don't mind, but she wrote all of this
Yeah.
herself. So these are her words. All right. Sometimes reading too long can be exhausting. So my mom is going to help me with this presentation at times. She will. Thank you for your patience. I was diagnosed with autism at age 3. I also have apraxia. In simple terms, apraxia means my mind knows exactly what it wants to do, but my body doesn't always get the message. I might want to say the word no, but the word yes comes out instead. As you can imagine, it's very frustrating. This is because there is a disconnect between the brain area that understands language and the brain area that produces language. And because my words didn't match my mind, people drew conclusions about what I understood. Over time, I developed some speech, but I'm not verbally conversational. I am considered an unreliable speaker. That's why I identify with the word non-speaking, not nonverbal, because I have a lot to say, even when I can't say it out loud. People assumed I couldn't understand. What they didn't know was this. My mind was intact because I understood everything, but because my body won't listen to my mind, I had no way to show it.
You just keep reading.
Growing up, I lacked significant eye contact and my sensory experiences were intense. Sometimes it felt like ants crawling up my arms. Other times, my legs felt like they were on fire. Another challenge is something called autistic inertia, which affects executive functioning. It's not laziness. It's the neurological difficulty of starting, stopping, or switching tasks, even when you want to. There's a gap in between intention and action. That gap shapes my life. Over time and with lots of practice, my eye contact improved. As an adult, my sensory challenges are fewer, but I still live with anxiety, OCD, and sometimes my body will still get stuck. Do you want me to keep going? I attended a special preschool for children with autism and later a self-contained special education classroom in the Grand Island School District. It was a kind environment. But because my body betrayed, not letting me show what I understood, I was taught the same things. Letters, numbers, colors, shapes, over and over again. Everything changed when I was 10 years old.
I'll read this part.
Okay, because I was just not gonna be able to read that.
My longtime ABA home teacher, Megan Carroll, who's been reading to you all this time, who is here tonight, was the inspiration for the main character in my book. She learned about rapid prompting method, or RPM, created by Soma Mukhopadhyay. It's a method to teach communication through spelling. Megan tried it with me, and she discovered that I knew things I had never been able to show or say. Oops. My parents arranged for us to travel to Austin, Texas to learn this method with Soma. From the moment we met her, she did one powerful thing. She presumed competence. She spoke to me, believing I understood, because she did believe I understood. These next slides are just to show you the kind of things that Soma does. This is Reagan's friend Philip, who went a couple years before Reagan, and I couldn't find the choices, but Soma starts with choices. I'm not sure if you'll get to see what she's doing here. The video, for some reason, isn't really moving. But what Soma does is she will talk, and then she'll ask a question, and she'll rip paper and put a choice and spell each choice on a piece of paper, tap each piece of paper, and then hand the pencil to the student, who will then choose the choice. And that's how she starts, just to teach that student how to choose, not what to choose, but how, that they have this way that they can actually get out what's in their mind. And that's the beginning of rapid prompting method. Let's see. This is Reagan. I'm not sure if this video will work either, because it was a little slow earlier. But oh, this isn't working. The video for some reason isn't moving, but she's using stencils with Reagan and talking to her and having Reagan use a pencil, and Reagan is spelling words, and she's getting a little feedback from that pencil going through the holes of the letters. So I think the other videos work a little better. And Soma had asked her to tell her something good about herself. She had just told a story about Arachne the Weaver. It's a Greek mythology story, and how Arachne would brag about all the beautiful things she could weave. And so at the end, she talked to Reagan and she said, tell me something good about yourself. And Reagan's very first open-ended, sentence was, I am trying. So yeah, sorry, knew that would get me. When she came back, this is Megan working with Reagan on some, I don't know if you'll hear it. Reagan's asking her to give her a number. So she gave her another 7. Or another number, sorry. I don't know if you can hear.
Yeah.
She's doing 87 times 3, and now Reagan's gonna give her the answer for 87 times 3.
Mentally, by the way.
Wow.
And you'll see next, I had to go and do it pencil paper to solve it. I couldn't do it mentally.
You see who gives yes, no.
61? Should we check?
So it's 261 was the answer.
This is me checking. Because I didn't know. 4.
Okay.
So I called, one of my favorite memories is that moment. I called Rebecca in the room and I said, did you know she can do 2-digit multiplication mentally? And no idea, because this was coming from a history of a lot of the times they approach autism with ABA, applied behavior analysis, which sometimes can become very rote in its teaching and just stuck on Reagan, point to the circle, Reagan, point to your name, Reagan. And meanwhile, she's fighting in her brain to tell you what 27 times 8 is. She doesn't want to point to her name anymore. And this was a beautiful moment to see just how much was locked in her head that she couldn't get out because of not being able to tell someone. So it was a really exciting day for all of us, I think, when I called you guys in to show you.
Absolutely. So those are the things she learned from Soma. And so I'm going back to what Reagan wrote. After I returned home, my parents and Megan Carroll continued working with me so I could spell better to communicate. My teacher, Michelle Maving, and classroom aides, Jen Woods, now Mimi, and Janice Anderson, could they just stand for a quick second? These are three ladies. Who also inspired characters in her book. So these four ladies are some of the characters in Reagan's book. Created a plan to help me tolerate being in a regular classroom and worked hard to help me. You're back.
Okay. By the end of 5th grade, I was doing math, reading chapter books, and completing projects. In middle school, I entered all regular classes with an aide. In high school, Janice Anderson became my aide and helped me become more independent. I graduated from high school in 4 years with honors, and now I am a college student. And while I celebrated those milestones, something else was growing inside me. I couldn't stop thinking about all the other people whose bodies were like mine, or who had greater dysregulation or greater medical complexity. How many intact, intelligent minds were hidden, waiting to be revealed? Many adults in my life worked hard to help me feel like I belonged. But with my peers, it was different. Most students didn't exclude me. They just didn't quite know what to do with me. I lived in that in-between space. People were polite. They said hello and goodbye, and that was usually where it ended. And then there were a few, the ones who were truly kind, the ones who leaned in, who wanted to know me, who made room for me in their circle. This is why I wrote Different Yet the Same. Disability can happen to anyone at any time, and it affects not just the individual, but their entire family. Society has a way of making sure the disabled are segregated, infantilized, or become objects of inspiration if they do something that seems not disabled. From the moment you are identified as disabled, much of your life becomes about learning how to fit into society. That isn't inherently wrong, but imagine if we devoted the same effort to teaching others, especially children, how to engage with those they perceive as different. That is why I wrote this book. I want to be a gentle advocate for the disability community. I want people to not feel awkward around us, so we need to show them. I want to be seen as valuable. I want to be seen as valuable as people without disabilities. I want
The territory.
I want authentic relationships with both disabled and non-disabled people. Being labeled immediately gives others permission to ignore our humanity. I believe that God has a purpose for my life.
Do you want me to read?
Yeah.
Finding that purpose and acting on it is what gives life meaning. Everyone deserves that. Not just those who can speak, not just those whose bodies cooperate, not just those who appear normal enough to earn inclusion. Everyone. Real inclusion means belonging, a life where your presence is desired, needed, and welcomed. We need to teach children to be truly kind, not just nice, because kindness is not fleeting, it leaves footprints. So I challenge you. Go ahead.
Okay. So I challenge you, don't wait for someone to prove their worth before you see their humanity. When you show them kindness, you're not just changing their life. You gain a little more humanity by discovering that we all have thoughts, feelings, and purpose, no matter what package it comes in. We are all different, yet we are all the same. Kindness is an action word and leaves footprints. Read that one. You say thank you to everybody. Say thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there questions? I'm not sure how to get them if they're online, but
They should pop up.
okay.
You want to help her?
Here, let me do it, and I'll go over here.
Any questions for
Are there
Reagan?
any questions?
I have a question for Reagan.
I do. Yeah. Right. Fran has a question for you.
Okay. She's gonna point at her letterboard. I forgot her
Here,
keyboard.
I'm gonna let you sit
That,
here.
I'm seeing people I didn't see before. Thank you so much for being here.
There are a lot of people here. I hope the fire department doesn't do a drop in. Fran, you have a question?
We have 100 questions, but I'll ask one.
You're good. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, Reagan, so you're a student at Arizona State. And what activities do you like to do outside of the classroom?
I am really a very active person. What are some things you like to do? I love to dance, hike, and swim. I know, I brought the small but letterboard, I'm sorry. I also. Go ahead. Okay, wasn't sure which one you were going to talk about. Knit hats on a loom.
Any other questions?
Another question?
I have a question. I'm wondering, and this could be either for Reagan or the parents, what was the size of the original letterboard that you started with, and how long were practice sessions? How many times a week or?
So when we came back, Reagan, do you want me to just answer that? Yes, okay. So when we came back from Soma, so Soma went in her method, she uses different varying hard like stencils, and some of them only have a few letters on them, and social have. But Reagan went quickly to the full alphabet one. And so we actually, the letterboard that we use at home is just an 8x11, and we just make them as we go, because she took pre-calculus and all kinds of classes in high school in particular, and we needed to change up the letterboard so they had the symbols. I would hold the graphing calculator so that she could just type and type directly into it, and she'd get her answers that way. So the school district, if this is of interest, the school district hired because the person who holds her board, although she's working towards autonomous spelling, which is like kind of that last step, and she is gaining a lot she's doing a lot in that area, just not open-ended things yet. She, I forgot what I was going, I apologize,
Yeah.
but,
Something about the school district.
right, so the school district, thank you. The school district hired a local person who, her son Philip, who was in that first video, she got training from Soma to be a level 2, and she has a place called Hope RPM that she will help families. So they hired her to come and be Reagan's, we call them a communication partner, for all the state exams and any big exam that she needed to take. So, but Reagan actually, she'll type on a keyboard to an app that will speak for her. Just, it depends on the scenario, because not every place is it easy. You won't always hear it if it's on the phone or the iPad, if you're in a loud place. So sometimes we just pull out the board. That's why I have a little one. It fits in my purse. And so we just make them as we go now. We don't need some of the stencils. And she's pretty good with using any board. I could even just write it all out on a piece of paper, stick it in front of her, and she'll do it. So yeah, but she's learning autonomous every night. She writes a whole list of the things that she did that day. She'll make a shopping list. She does a lot of things that are autonomous in her spelling. We're just moving towards that communication piece, and we'll get there. We will definitely get there. Yes.
So I would be a little curious about Reagan's interaction with other students with autism and sort of some of these neurodivergent communication abilities, and how she has interacted and been a support to other children, maybe not necessarily children, but younger people or colleagues of hers. Is that going on at all?
Yes.
There's quite a
there's
few of
of
her
them
friends here tonight.
There's a few here. Back there. Abby. Abby. Back there. And Rebecca is here.
It's an amazing community of people.
So yes, it's a great community of people. And she's also, Bethany was, actually Bethany here inducted Reagan into the National Honor Society when Reagan was a junior. Bethany has, and so Reagan has been able to bridge with just typical neurodiverse, but I guess technically we're all a little, but we know what we when we say
Everybody is.
neurodiverse.
Wow.
But nonetheless, I think the hard part for her to, as she's communicated to me, is that she doesn't fit any mold. She understands everything and can talk with everybody, but yet she can't easily talk. So people just plop her into an isolated group until she can show them that she can talk to them. So it's a very difficult bridge sometimes to build.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Reagan, do you have another book in mind? Is there a second book that you're thinking about? Or I'm sure you have more to say.
What did you just say? Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Any hints that you want to share?
I'm thinking ahead, I know. Made a I made a survey to have some I know you're nervous. It's okay. Relax. You're good. You're doing great. Friends. Answer. Yeah. So I can share, their got it. Their stories. So she made a search,
Thank you, Reagan.
she's researching that.
And when that book gets published, will you come back and join us again?
Yes.
Good. Any other questions?
Yes.
I was wondering again, where do you find kind people? Like, how do you know that you've met a kind person as opposed to a nice person?
How do you know
What a
when
good
you've met
question.
kind person?
When they, I know, I'm shaking my arm, sorry. Here we go. When they engage with me, like anyone when they engage with me like anyone else.
There are no more questions. I really, is there a
in the
question
back.
back there? I'm so, excuse me.
So you guys said that you had to go out of state for this RPM
Yes,
method of therapy.
yes.
Is that here?
So the woman that they hired,
Here.
thank you for asking. The woman that our district hired, who we know as friends, Dr. Lisa Reyes, she's a medical doctor, but when her son was diagnosed and she ended up taking her son there and learned this, she got the training so that she could help families. So she's local. Sometimes we brought her here as before COVID. We had Buffalo RPM and we brought them to here in the Birchfield to do little things. We do community things together as the group of, we call ourselves spellers. And, but sometimes we'll bring providers here. But we do have Lisa. So I've referred a lot of people to Lisa who is local. More and more people are becoming certified in that. I will say there's controversy over it. Won't deny that, but there are some professional organizations that are pushing against this and saying it's harmful, what we're doing for our children, which is strange to me. But Reagan actually wrote a policy paper for her first disability studies class and has gotten some really good feedback on it, feeling it's very strong. And some people that I think are even online with us today have been encouraged by it and want to use some of what she's written because she did it. It was a researched paper to encourage her and say, we want you on board to help us with this, because right now there's a bill in New York State, the House got passed, but the Senate has not passed it yet. And we're trying to get the Senate in New York State to pass it for communication rights. So that even though, you know, it's subtly in the ADA, for the federal ADA, but we're still trying to, this is Abby. She's from downstate, but they've been encouraging Reagan to get active, to advocate on behalf of people like her. We were just in Arizona for part of the semester last semester. I took her down there so that she could have an experience on campus and met a lot of spellers there. She got to meet faculty, do some really great stuff on campus with homecoming. Had a great experience with that. And so there's an awful lot of spellers out there. And once you meet them and you see them spelling, there's like really no denying that, you know, that.
I have to say that because of Mary Kozub, this is a culture.
Finish the meeting.
Sensory, I'm sorry, I have a
Sensory we'll be on an international website. And if you're traveling, you can look on your phone or your laptop and find other culture, city designated organizations. And when you walk in the door, you can get noise reducing headphones. You can get Pixens. I forgot. what else.
Weighted lap pads.
Weighted lap pads, yeah, yeah,
Glasses, in case
Glasses.
you're light sensitive.
right.
And in order for us to get the certification, our docents had to go through the training, and now the staff is also preparing to go through the training. And we're very happy about that.
I'm just gonna answer this
Please
question
do.
real
No, no,
quick
that's-
for Sid and Abby. We don't know that much about spell to communicate. The other method that we're familiar with, I think, is S2C. There's a few different spelling things. And I don't know that it's much different, just in a few nuances, Sid. So as far as Soma's RPM method, I think it's pretty similar, and that I don't think it would make a difference. What if Abby, which I know she's an she openly communicates with her board, I think you would find that that you won't have any, it shouldn't matter whether you do spell to communicate or RPM. So just to answer that question, yes.
Reagan, do you want to say hi to Omi? Right,
Say hi
right in the camera, say hi, Omi. Right here, right here. Look at the camera.
She's looking.
Hi.
Say hi,
Watching
Omi.
you.
I love you. Omi's kind of been my daughter's right wing, the wingman for her. And
You couldn't be here tonight.
she's in the hospital. She had a stroke on Friday, so she's in the hospital. So she's watching online.
Yeah, it just happened, and she's been Reagan's support for a lot of years. Yes,
I
sir.
have two questions for Reagan.
Reagan?
Two questions. With the policy thing you wrote, is that something you could share? Is that something you
Would
could?
you share that with people? Yes.
Okay, the other one is, perhaps when you're done with this level of schooling, would you be open to doing presentations to people? I've worked with folks of all kinds of disabilities. And there's major systems statewide, whatever, and the education familiarity of staff is really very limited. Been through some programs where people were taught alternate methods of basically would say the brain was a steel trap, and the guy's 55 years old and he could name everybody's car and he could do all this kind of stuff. And then on a statewide basis was decided that that method was false. But in terms of staff learning about perceptions and perceptual realities of people, what people can comprehend, I think is really, really tremendous. So would you be open to do a presentation sometime in the future, years future, if you want?
A, B, S. Absolutely.
Yeah, even more than a yes.
I do have one question. Did Reagan do ABA?
Yes.
For how long?
See, for years.
Years?
For us, there is some kind of strange controversy between this and ABA, which is odd because they're different things. They don't do the same thing. They're for different purposes. So when somebody was saying to us, as when she was younger and we started this, they were kind of hostile about what we're, and well, ABA this and ABA that. I'm like, yeah, ABA has specific roles, and she was still getting that. So we didn't understand until it wasn't a controversy till we started hearing people acting like it was. It was kind of this, wait, really?
But as parents with somebody, my son has autism, it does come up with, we only really hear what they want us to hear sometimes. I never even heard of that RPM.
Yeah.
So it is.
I've been thinking method, yes.
Right, I've only heard of like ABA, and that's what he had for years.
Right.
So it's nice to hear that there's other things out there that we can resource, because where we get our information from is other parents. Is how we get a lot of our information.
Exactly. And this has been through a network. This is through a network of parents telling us about it. Like, well, maybe
This was literally I was an ABA teacher for 5 years and I worked with a behavioral services company. I loved it. I loved what I did. This was literally birthed from me having an epiphany of presuming intelligence, above everything else.
Nice.
Approaching,
Homebody.
my students with autism as intelligent and capable and
Good.
willing to learn on grade level. It started with me working with a 6th grade boy that I got assigned, and they gave me a box of baby toys. And I said, he's 6th grade. I said, I want the 6th grade history book, I want the 6th grade science book, and I want the ELA novel. And they looked at me like I had 50 heads. And I said, nope, that's what we're doing. And this is how he's going to be taught. And that birthed this, just me putting down index cards in front of him with letter A, B, C, D. So we do multiple choice. And that was as simple. I had no, it was just me saying there's more inside of this guy, and I'm going to get it out of him because I'm stubborn. And then that transferred into Reagan. I was like, let me try with Reagan. Let me talk to Rebecca about exploring Reagan's capability and approaching it at a grade level understanding. And I think ABA it can be misconstrued based on who you talk to, but basically approach everyone, your students, your children with presumed intelligence.
Yes.
And
And
as we speak right now, a friend of mine who lives in Georgia, I've been talking to her. She's been seeing Reagan for years. She has a son. Her oldest son is 24. Right now, she is in a SOMA. They call them camps, but it's training, and it's really training for the parents, not for the student, because you're learning how to bring out what's already there. Reagan could spell words, and she's using words. The summer right after we came back, we had already committed to her going to the summer program that they usually have for special education students. And she didn't seem to like it. And when I talked to her about it, she's like, well, I vacillate between wanting to go and not wanting to go. And I'm like, vacillate, where'd you? And I asked her, how do you know how to spell or what these words are? And she said, I just listen all the time. Nobody thought I knew anything. So I just listened. I observed, I listened, it's there. And so it's there, but because as her one slide showed, the two parts of your brain, the one that understands language and the one that makes your mouth move, and so there's some disconnect there, and it's not letting it out. And so there's a lot of that going on with a lot of our friends where they just, it's because their body presents that they don't understand. We're used to just seeing what's there and just assume that they don't. So it's a paradigm shift.
Yeah, it's definitely, yes, there's definitely a misconception of how much they can do. Yeah.
It's as simple as just index cards in front of my one student, and saying, hey, giving him, okay, A is this answer, B is this answer, C is this answer. Give me the answer. And he reached for letter C and handed it to me. And we were reading Coraline, like a novel, and it was just as simple as starting there. I didn't have training. I was a master level special ed teacher, but this was literally just me wanting to see if I could unlock their brains. And it was a beautiful moment for his mom and for us. And it opened the door for a lot of my other students. And then Reagan brought so much more to the Buffalo area with SOMA and RPM and teaching families. But yeah, it was as simple as starting there with some index cards. So
she's not the first one to spell.
No.
Probably at least 4 or 5 others, maybe more but Megan interacted with one of them, and that's how she learned about rapid prompting method and then told us about it. And now Reagan and that young girl are best friends. So, and you've been waiting, sorry.
That's okay. And kind of along with Julie's question, how do we get the copies of the book?
Oh, we have books here and it is on Amazon. We're not real marketing people, so we're really bad at
buy them on Amazon. Don't let her give you them for free.
But if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. But, we're not marketing people. Reagan wanted to write a book. We did our best to get it together so that she could publish it, self-publish it. I mean, we did create our own little publishing company name, and she got it copyrighted. We just got her certificate the other day that it's officially copyrighted. So Yeah, so it's been, it's a fun thing for her and I to do together as well as mother-daughter. I live,
Stunt.
yeah, July 1st, I retired from Buffalo Public Schools. And so now I can enjoy spending time and doing projects with Reagan, so. Yay.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming.